So today I'll be showing you how to port your Drupal 7 theme from Drupal 8.7 to Drupal 8. So the first thing you'll need to do is extract your theme. So as you see in here, I've already extracted mine. Now create a new folder for your theme. So in this video I'll be using Danan theme to do so. Inside of that folder, I want to create 3 new folders. It's one CSS, another JavaScript, and next templates. Inside of your CSS folder, I want you to paste your style sheets for your CSS. You don't have to put them in the CSS folder, but it's a good practice to keep them there. The same thing for your JavaScript. Now inside of your templates folder, I wanted to put the tlp.php files inside of it. Now in Drupal 8, tlp.php file format templates are not used anymore. Instead you have the html.twig, because twig templates are now the new format. So of course you're going to rename them to html.twig. Next thing after doing that is to copy that info file and the rest of them. So you can now copy over your images and your screenshots, your logo that you had from the Drupal 7 version. Now also we bring over your info file. Okay, so now in Drupal 8, that info file is not used anymore. Instead you have that info.yml files, because the YML syntax is what is now used in Drupal 8. So now let's change up that info file, so we can get rid of this at the top. And now, and this which Drupal added. Now in Drupal 8, the YML syntax is used, and also in the .info file you no longer define CSS and JavaScript inside of it. Now the engine used in Drupal 8 is a Twig engine, but you don't really have to have this line of code, but you can have it if you want. Now in Drupal 8 also, you no equal signs are used. Instead you have the colon. And now you're going to have below that your type, which is of course a theme, your base theme, it can be either classy or stable, but for this theme it's going to be classy because it's not a stable version of the theme. Below that you can put your screenshots if you have any. Oh yeah. Now the next thing is that regions are not defined in Drupal like this anymore. Instead, regions are defined with the regions header, and then below it you indent, and then you have your region which you're editing. So I'm going to pause the video and finish all of these for you, just up them for you, and come back. Okay, so now as you can see, I finished doing it. I finished changing over all of them. So now after doing that, you have to go you have to change your core, and the libraries. Okay, sorry about that. In Drupal 8, you no longer put your CSS files and JavaScript files, as I said before, inside of your info.yml file. Instead, it's placed inside of libraries, and libraries is where you put everything which you want to load inside of your theme, because there's no longer loading of everything inside of your theme like your jQuery, your Drupal settings. So you have to load it into your theme. So inside of your info.yml files where you'll define your libraries. So you'll have the libraries header, and below that you'll have your library. So for example, my library will be Danland. So with your library you'll have a dash, then you have the name of your theme, and then your library name, which is of course mine will be global since most people use global. So some people use global scripts, CSS, but if on the scripts you'll have the JavaScript, and CSS you'll have the JavaScript. But for me, I'm going to just use one library, which is just global, which have everything on it. And can have multiple amounts of library and which does multiple amount of things. So I always have one library which I'll be using, so yeah, I can save it now. Now the next thing which you'll be needed to do is to create your libraries file, of course. So you'll have your theme name, which is Danland, libraries .yml. So now inside of this file you'll start off with the header with your library name. So any amount of library you have, you start off with your name right here as a header using YML syntax. So you can have many and multiple amount of libraries. So for example, if you have the JK library, for example, so you have JK as a header, and then you'll indent again. But for me it's just one library, so I'll just have the global library and then indent, and below it you have the version, which of course the version of the library is version 1, point X. So now below it you could have header equal to true. So you may be wondering, what's header equal to true? Header, setting header to true is basically enabling your library whatever is below header equal to true to load first at the header, because normally everything inside of the library is loaded at the footer of the page. So setting header to true enables it to load first, but we don't need that. So the first thing which we'll be loading in using our library is our JavaScript. So to load our JavaScript, we'll have the JavaScript header and then indent again on your JavaScript files. Our JavaScript files are found in our JS folder, and so we'll just put the direct location of them. So JS slash hover here, intent dot JS slash jQuery. Now that we have loaded in our JS, we can load our CSS. Or if you don't have anything else to load for this library, then it just finished. But now for CSS, we'll load it with CSS header, then we have theme, and then after that we indent once more and have our CSS files. So of course our CSS files is inside of CSS folder, and then we'll just load it in like the same as JavaScript. Now that we have loaded in our CSS, as you can realize that one of our JavaScript files are of course going to maybe use jQuery, and as I said before, jQuery and all of those things are not loaded generally into your theme, so therefore you have to load them into your theme. So using our under the library which you want, so to load it in our global library right here, because it's the only library we're having, we'll use the dependencies. So you have the dependencies header, then you'll indent, and then you have whatever you're loading, which ours is jQuery. So you'll have, for example, settings. You'll have the dashboard, that Drupal setting, whatever you're wanting to load in. So now, since we're finished loading all of what we'll be using, and we're finished with our info.yml file, all which is left is our templates and the PHP and our theme file, which is basically will be controlling everything which we have set up here. So I'm going to pause the video and return to that later. So now, after we have finished with our info and libraries.yml files, we should be converting all of our templates. So I'm going to convert this first one in the video to show you. So now to convert our templates, we can either use the automatic converter, which will be linked to the video, or you can manually do it. So I'll be manually converting our templates due to the point that I cannot automatically do it. So the first thing we should do is to change our comments from this to this. So let's start. The next thing, which I said told us to do is so we can get rid of this. The next thing that tells us to do is add the file line at the top of it. Then rewrite return HTML as default theme implementation. Write it to fit on one line. So we don't really have that, so we have no need to bother trouble that. So below that we'll have our available variables. And then below the available variables, we'll replace the at param variables, but we don't have any at param variables, so we'll just leave it there. Now after we have done that, we'll write an @c line. Now we should replace our theme hook with our template name. And then finally our in-group template. So now let's get to our variables. So in PHP we might print our variables with the print function like what you see here and the variable name, but in YML we will change it to this. So we're going to change all of that to this. So I'm going to actually use something fast so I can do it to all of them. So there, we have done it. So we replaced all of our variables to the twig format, from the PHP templating format to the twig format. We can print hash key like this, but for this we don't have any hash key. I already checked before that we don't have any hash key. So you can go through it and then convert it depending on what you have. So Next thing we should be doing is our for conditions. So as you can see, I have one condition here which they convert PHP if, as you can see, and PHP end if. So now for conditions we have the percentage sign instead of 2 curly brackets. So I'm not going to use a fast method to do this. And then you'll have if, we don't have any more piece, and we don't have variables having the PHP syntax. Instead of having that arrow, we'll have a dot. I'm just following everything which is as over there. As you can see from before, we don't use any arrows anymore, we use our dots. We don't have any control structures, so we can skip that.
You're tuned to Love 101, the family station. Thank you, Jacinta. And I'm Dean Blair, inside Love in the Morning. On Love 101, the family station. Mustard Seed Children's Choir.
So I can see new variables in Drupal, but just have the $sign before it. So I'm just like taking them off. And added the requisite things which were never added before.
What's that? I mean, I don't know. Like that. So come on, you
So change all of these. So we can leave also the brackets for these, like the function. So after we have done that, we are finished with it. So now we can save it and convert our next file. So because due to time, I will not be converting the next file. I'll be just continuing to the next process in this video, but I'll convert the file when I pause it. The last thing left to be done is to create our .theme file. So to create that, we create a new text document. Now after we've created our .theme file, we can go to our old Drupal module. And copy the old code. And paste it inside of the new Drupal .theme file. So now after we have done that, there are just some slight changes which are made in Drupal 8 to this file, and they are just the hook at the top. So as you can see, you should have this at the top. Also, there are some slight variable changes so that it may be easier for you, so you can So I'm gonna just change it all for these and return back to the video. Okay, so I made a couple changes. So the key changes which I've made is that the variable is basically like a direct link to the page template where the sidebar first is. So it's just basically linking it using one variable, like in this format. So those are like the difference with the variable changes in the new Drupal 8 and with the hook at the top and the pre-process also. What you have, but as you can see, it is basically the same thing as Drupal 7, but just that the linking is different and the variable changes is different. Like for example, if you want to add attributes, is like this. If you want to add JavaScript, as I showed you before, you can link your JavaScript to it using the format as shown here, and all of this is done in the .theme file. So you may find all of this thing in that theme file. I'm not so used to the PHP so much, so I can't really change it so much, but yeah, I can learn later, but I don't really have the time for. So this is how you change it with that theme file. So now we're going to like test it in our Drupal site, and if it doesn't work, then I'll try to fix the error. So now that we have converted all of our files into the Drupal 8 way, from Drupal and our theme from Drupal 7 to Drupal 8, we are now left to test it. So we have finished with carrying over CSS, images, JavaScript, templates, and so on. So our info libraries, yeah, our logo, we have everything. The only thing is that the .theme file may not have everything that it should have. So we might have to add some more code to the .theme files and change it up so it works perfectly in Drupal 8, as well as for templates. You might need to add more templates to ensure that it works well. So let's test it, and more CSS and JavaScript. It depends on how much work, how much things you need to do for your theme, so it works well with Drupal 8. So, but you have converted our theme from Drupal 7 to Drupal 8 very well. So let's show you that it's working. Great. So now we're in our theme here, so if we go to appearance, and we should scroll down. Great, so here's our theme, Danlan. So as you can see, the theme which we added from before, our Danlan theme with the same screenshot as before and everything. So we're going to install it and set it as default. So as you can see, the descriptions are still there from the past Drupal 7 file. The still name, which is info.yml. The screenshot from the past Drupal 7. Yeah, so this is showing that our info.yml file is working and everything. So now it's time to test it. So if we install it, as you can see now, we have installed it. So if we should go to our home page and get an error screen there for you, you may say that there's a problem in it. So let's try it. So yes, just as I was expecting, in our danlan.theme file, we are getting an error on line 33. I'm going to edit it using this one so I can just, yeah. So at this line in the front page we are getting an error, and what the error says, says they call undefined function in front page. So this is a problem. We have scripts here when our file has changed from scripts to JavaScript. I forgot to change those. Changing these also doesn't mean you're finished with it either. But yeah, let's save that and reload our page and see if any difference is made. Let's go back here, configuration. So I'm going to pause the video and return later. So now let's test our site. Okay, we're still getting a seed.
My friend, the coming of the Lord and the news, which is good news, to those who love God and love His Word, can be bad news to those who don't love Christianity, don't love God, don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, and I don't know which side of the fence you fall on. But I implore you, if you doubt the Word of God, read it some more. There was one man who felt the Bible was full of contradictions.
Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this.
After he read the Word of God, he wrote in defense of the Word of God. You too can be like if you have any doubt right now about God and about Christ. So, let one suspect many were murdered. One suspected king out of the way. Many were murdered. The repent order.
So therefore you may see that there's a problem with that. So I got a new error. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video and return again. Okay, so I fixed the problem which I was having before, and the problem which I've been having before is my .theme file, and as you can see it has been changed apparently a lot. But what I've actually done is actually borrowed the .theme file, the information inside the .theme file for the Drupal 8 version for this theme which I'm using, because I don't really remember I don't really know the PHP how to change it up, so I just borrowed the PHP code from that theme file and paste it into my .theme file, And when I reloaded the page, it finally started working. Also, my Drupal 8 installation was giving problems, so that was also one of the cause of the error, which I was getting. I was getting an error afterwards saying that it ran into an unexpected error, which is pretty weird, which never supposed to happen. So what I did was to clear my cake, reload it, and it start working properly like this. So as you can see, when you have fixed the code inside of your .theme file, so it works well with your theme, you can realize that the only thing needs to fix is maybe some new templates and your CSS and your JavaScript code. So just as I said before, everything is here. As you can see that everything is in place, because of it might need some more CSS to it and some editing. So that's how you port your Drupal 7 theme to Drupal 8, and as you can see, it's working pretty well. I'm going to go to the Drupal 7 version to show you the difference in what I'm talking. Let's give it some time. Sorry. So this is a Drupal 7 version, and this is my Drupal 8 version. So all which is needed to be done to this is to fix the CSS, JavaScript, add some more codes and templates, and maybe some more templates, and then you're good. As you can see, it's messed up, but everything is ported properly. As you can see, there's no problem with it. So thanks for watching my video again. So yeah, this is how you port from Drupal 7 to Drupal 8, and all websites and links will be posted below in my description. So thanks again.